City building games give players godlike control over every aspect of life, from budgeting to bus schedules, so it's easy to get lost in the weeds and spend hours geeking out while your city grows. A must-have for any fan of the genre. Stay tuned as we bring you top 10 best city building games. Number 10. Surviving Mars. Surviving Mars is your chance to escape from Earth and establish a sustainable dome life on the Red Planet if you want to go beyond terrestrial cities. Surviving Mars, published by city building veteran Stocks Interactive, borrows from the ethos of previous games. Balance city growth with available resources. But this is Mars, and the game is based on real-life data from Mars, so domes, oxygen, and rare Earth materials give the classic builder an entirely new feel. Surviving Mars, like its gaming forefathers, has its fair share of natural disasters to avoid. This time, it's meteor showers, dust storms, and alien plagues. Let's hope Elon Musk is putting in the hours as he plans for Earth's expansion into space. Number 9. SimCity 4. You don't just build your city in SimCity TM4, you also give it life. Lay the groundwork for your creation by sculpting mountains, digging riverbeds, and planting forests. SimCity 4 Deluxe Edition includes the best-selling SimCity 4 as well as the brand-new SimCity 4 Rush Hour expansion pack. Create the world's largest city region, complete with a farming town, a bedroom community, a high-tech commercial center, and an industrial backbone. Take command of your city's transportation system and complete You Drive It missions, ranging from crime fighting to disaster relief. Watch your population skyrocket as you get your Sims moving and build the ultimate living. Breeding Megalopolis, the most expansive SimCity 4 compilation ever. Create an entire region of cities. Weave a tapestry of cities connected by a fully integrated transportation network, and watch them share and compete for resources. Possess godlike powers, sculpt the landscape to create your own world, then summon volcanoes, tornadoes, meteors, and lightning. Be a responsive mayor. Create a world-class city complete with stadiums, airports, universities, and actual landmarks. Deploy emergency vehicles and join the fight against blazes, mobs, and other threats. Get advice from your Sims. Read the city's rhythm, from commuter hell to mellow cruising, from noon crowds to nighttime calm. Number 8. Avent Colony. Avent Colony is the city-building game for you if you've ever fantasized about riding in a space elevator. Avent Colony, set in sometimes stark, sometimes lush alien landscapes, trades on many of the generous staples, building a city with limited resources while exploring tech trees, but does so with slick graphics and new takes on old ideas. Defense development, as well as a day-night cycle that limits production during those cold alien planet evenings, will add a new flavor to the genre for experienced players. Avent Colony will feel right at home if you enjoy cities, skylines, and surviving Mars. Number 7. Islanders. Here's how it works. You begin on a small island with a limited number of buildings to construct. Every time you place a building, you gain points, whether you place it next to certain natural features or next to complementary structures. The closer they are to these modifiers, the more points you get. The more buildings you place, the more types you have to choose from. The catch, of course, is that each island has a finite amount of space and resources. You have to be very careful where you put things because you can't move onto the next island and get a nice blank slate to do it all over again, until you reach a certain point threshold. If you waste all of your space creating a disjointed mess of a city and can't string together enough points to progress, you'll be stuck because once a building is placed, it can't be demolished. In other words, it's a perfectionist dream. Every single thing you put on the map has an optimal location, which is clearly explained. It's strangely soothing just exploring this down to the pixel, waving a warehouse around the map looking for the location that'll give you that one extra point you need to help push you on the next island. Despite the game's desire to push you further, your overall score is tracked on a leaderboard, adding a strangely competitive edge to an otherwise sedate experience. It never translates into stress. Sure, optimal cities are satisfying to build, and seeing the next procedurally generated island is always nice. But even when things are at their worst in Islanders, and you're stuck on a map with a busted city, it's still lovely. Thank the music for that, as well as the adorable little trees and buildings you're playing with the entire time. You're like the mayor of Wind Waker's Outset Island, but also thank the act of placement itself. The chill part is absolutely correct. This is a very light and breezy game. Number 6. Anno 2025. Anno 2205 is a city building and economic stimulation game with real-time elements as a strategy. This game was created by Blue Byte and published by Ubisoft. Anno 2205 is the sixth installment of a new game series, and it was released in 2015. The entire game is set in the future, so the player will be able to build colonies on celestial bodies, such as the Moon. Anno 2205 is the first game to include ecosystems, such as the Moon and other celestial bodies. Anno 2070 was the previous installment in this series. This article discusses Anno 2205's gameplay and features. Anno 2205, as we all know, is a city-building game that is very similar to Anno 2070. Many reviewers panned the previous version for including a historical setting as a feature. The developers of the current game series have created appealing new features. The primary goal of the game is for players to colonize celestial bodies, such as the Moon. This will cause the player to think in a futuristic manner, allowing him to build a city on the Moon. The player will assume the role of a leader who will guide a group of people through the process of building a city using advanced technologies. Number 5. Tropico 5. The fifth installment of the acclaimed Tropico series introduced a couple of significant changes to the title. First, the ability to progress through different historical eras, beginning with the colonial era and continuing through World Wars, Cold Wars, and modern times. This progression resulted in the creation of a dynastic El President family, which added a new level of involvement to the game's city-building aspect. However, the inclusion of a multiplayer component that allows for cooperative or competitive gameplay was even more significant. Tropico 5 is, in a nutshell, an updated take on the series with some great hooks to keep you playing. Number 4. Subnautica. Subnautica is a game about an alien ocean planet with an underwater adventure. You are about to enter a vast, open world filled with wonder and peril. You've crash-landed on an alien ocean world, and there's only one way to go down. The oceans of Subnautica range from sun-drenched shallow coral reefs to perilous deep-sea trenches, lava fields, and bioluminescent underwater rivers. Explore kelp forests, plateaus, reefs, and winding cave systems while keeping an eye on your oxygen supply. The water is teeming with life, some of which is beneficial and much of which is harmful. After crashing land in your life pod, time is running out to find water, food, and develop the equipment you'll need to explore. Gather resources from the surrounding ocean. Number 3. SimCity 3000. This was a difficult decision to make because the SimCity series is one of the most well-regarded series of all time. Except for the 2013 reboot, all of the numbered titles in the series have received critical acclaim. If the entire series could be included on this list, it would most likely take up nearly half of the top 10. The original is a dated title, but it is still engrossing and fun to play. SimCity 2000 expanded on the original game by adding a beautiful new coat of paint, an isometric view, and two fantastic spin-offs, Streets of SimCity and SimCopter, which allowed you to traverse your creation. But for me, SimCity 3000 was the series' pinnacle, and it is a game I have spent countless hours with over the years. Number 2. Pharaoh. So, building a modern city isn't your cup of tea? Impressions Games is offering a trip to ancient Egypt. Impressions Games was a studio that created a slew of fantastic management and tycoon games in the 1990s, including the Ultimate Soccer Manager series, which I actually preferred to Championship Manager. Pharaoh felt like a natural continuation of Impressions Caesar series, but more on that later. Pharaoh assigns you the task of constructing an Egyptian city. Players are graded on a variety of criteria, including population, prosperity, and culture. Other goals must also be met, and players are graded on their ability to hit targets, which falls under the Kingdom stat. Number 1. Banished. Banished, developed solely by Lukodoroix, tasks you with establishing a remote settlement in the wilderness. Initially, I was put off by Banished's steep learning curve, and I dumped the game Dark Souls of city builders. Yes, Banished is difficult if you expect it to be a standard city-building game. Surviving in the wilderness is difficult, especially during the winter. Don't have enough food on hand. Death. You don't have enough clothes. Death. Please subscribe to our channel by clicking the subscribe button below.